week. We needed 2 good weeks of work here, important. We're 1 week into that, and I'm going to tell you, I thought our team got better. I thought we continued to improve. We got good competitive work Tuesday, Thursday, and today was competitive, man. It was physical. I thought the players played fast. So ultimately, we're trying to create momentum. I think we're 1 week away from the orange and blue game, and I think we've got a great weekend planned. I think there's like 10 home sporting events, 1 o'clock kickoff, free admission, and I think there's a unique opportunity for an exclusive meet and greet with the players, partnering with Florida Victorious next week after the spring game on the field. So we're excited about that. I thought today, just in short, the defense started extremely fast, and then I thought the offense responded in the back half of the game. So really competitive back and forth. One thing we did, we brought in an SEC crew. Yesterday we did kind of a rules education deal with the players. We had a team meeting. We had breakout sessions with the position groups. They worked our situational walkthrough yesterday, and they helped us and called the scrimmage today. So that was beneficial for the players. That's something that we do annually, and I thought it was well done. So we're thankful for David Smith and his crew for doing that. So overall, this week's about momentum, and we need to take advantage of each day here as we prep for the orange and blue game and try to finish this thing the right way. So what do we got here? Yeah, what we do is we divide the players up to try to make the game as competitive as possible based off of who's available. And then we allow kind of the veteran players on each team to draft all parts of the organization, right? So we divide the entire organization in half, and we give them a little bit of ownership in terms of, okay, hey, I want this guy to be my OC. I want this guy to be my DC. He's going to be the assistant head coach. They pick their strength staff. They pick every part of the building is broken in half, and then we give the players some just to make it competitive, and then you're the winner, you lose, right? So, and I think it's healthy, and it certainly makes it fun. No. Friday, I think we'll meet with the veteran players, I think, at some point Thursday before practice, and then we announce the teams post-practice, and then they have their own Friday prep independent of each other. So we try to simulate a Friday and then get them ready for the game. So.
Billy, you mentioned Pup Howard last week. You guys sent him out. What does he bring that's maybe different than what you've had the last 2 years at that position? He's got a lot of length.
Yeah.
I don't know what his skill set is. He can drop in coverage. He can rush. I haven't seen him play really. But what does he bring, and does he bring something different that you guys have kind of needed at linebacker?
Yeah, no, well, I think, first of all, Pup's an incredible young man, right? I mean, he's extremely bright. He's got character. He's smart. He can communicate. He's really done a nice job of picking up the system. At that position, you got to communicate, and you got to do that with confidence, and I think you got to be decisive. I think he's done a good job doing that. Now, he's got height and length. He certainly looks the part. He's still somewhat an inexperienced player, but I do think he's a mature young man, good family, and he's taken advantage of the reps. I think with Shamar and Wingo out, and then that room's been banged up at times. So, yeah, he's done a good job. I think the other players around him benefit from his communication, and last week he had some production in the scrimmage. So it's been a good spring, good offseason for him.
What was the recruitment with him? Because he chose South Carolina, but you guys kind of, I think Jacob might have brought it up. I don't even know if he's here, but about maintaining communication in case
Sure.
he kind of circles the boomerangs back. What was the recruitment? Why did he come here? Why did he
Yeah, it's a good way to put it. I think, ultimately we were just a new staff, right? We were behind in the relationship part upon arrival. I think that, um, and he's the type of kid where I think that's important to him, right? There's a loyalty component there, and I think ultimately um, he's a Florida kid, and I think there was a special place. I think he liked the University of Florida. And I think it just ultimately came down to the relationship piece, and then sometimes things don't go the way you thought they were going to go, right? So when he did enter the portal, we certainly had a great respect for him. We evaluated him as a player, and um, he's back, right? So I think that ultimately it's a good thing, and I think he's had a good experience, and we're excited about him for sure.
With the speed that you've added at wide receiver, is that going to, and tackles that you think are better at pass protection, is that going to add an element of verticality that maybe has been missing the last few years?
I think that I'd like to think that. I think today we're evaluating one day at a time. But I think what you're saying is accurate, right? We've been intentional about adding speed to the roster, especially at receiver. There's no question we needed to pass protect better. Anybody, even my wife would say that we could pass protect better last year. But, I think ultimately we added 2 portal tackles. We have some players coming back at that position, and then we've got 2 really good freshmen, So we feel better about that depth. And even with 2 guys out, we're able to, field 2 pretty good offensive units. But there's no doubt the pocket's been cleaner. Now, it's hard for me to get beyond today, right? Like I thought we were a little lackluster early, throwing and catching. We were a little bit asleep from the jump, 7-on-7, first part of the scrimmage. So I think we need to start faster from that standpoint. But I do think in the second half of the scrimmage we protected better, threw and caught the ball better. The defense contributes to that, right? So, but overall, you're exactly spot on. I mean, I think we need to protect better, and I think the personnel we've added will allow us to, hold the ball a little bit, and that'll allow us to throw it down the field a little bit more often.
That was going to be the next question about the extra split second that Graham has.
Yeah.
Does that is that allowing the principle of verticality?
Yeah, 100%. And I think that I felt that way about our team. Once Austin got hurt last year, I kind of felt that way about our team the back half of the year. We were kind of calling the game with one hand, fighting with one hand in our pocket, if that makes sense. And I think, we immediately went to work in the portal to try to answer that, and then also the freshman players that we've added. So I think 15, when he has time, can be extremely effective, right? And he's proven that.
How was the quarterback play today? Did he see progress week 1 and week 2 in terms of scrimmage?
Yeah, I don't necessarily think that we started the way I would want us to today, but I do think we responded in the back half. I think the defense contributes to that, right? I think I would compliment the defense today. I thought that we tackled extremely well. I thought the coverage was tighter. I thought the rush was effective. And I think that affected the quarterback play. Now, we had a couple turnovers. We had some tip balls. But overall, I would say that quarterback play, I've said this to you many times, you got to play good around the quarterback, And I think that we had some situations today where all the players on offense contributed to that. But the positive thing here is I think at the halfway point, we kind of regrouped and made some plays in the back half of the scrimmage.
Spring games can be this celebratory glimpse into the program. Do you think much into it in terms of what you're going to show out there? Last year was 9 sacks. It was a little bit of a defensive sack fest.
Sure.
Do you tweak that a little bit or maybe call off the dogs? I don't know, to maybe show a little something different?
Yeah, no, I think you're thinking the right way. I mean, I think ultimately for me, we've got a format that we use. and we're going to continue to do that. It's worked for us in the past. I do think that we're deeper, and I think in particular at certain positions that contribute to the things that you're talking about, right? So I think that hopefully will allow us to play cleaner and it to be more competitive and more productive, But overall, we really have a philosophy. We've been here for 2 years. I think we're going to go let them play, So we got a lot of young players. You think about the spring game. This is the first opportunity for our fans to watch this 2024 team. In particular, a bunch of these rookies, not only the high school players, but the transfers. And I'm going to tell you, after the spring game is over, we've got a unique partnership with Florida Victorious to actually meet the team. So I think our fans are going to have it's an opportunity to be a great experience. So we're hopeful we can put on a good show, I guess is what I would say. I think it's been positive, and I think what I've learned, and I think our personnel department as a whole, the philosophy here is we're looking for traits, we're looking for production, but I think this cycle, we put a premium on what's the extra dimension that they're bringing to our team. What leadership, what character, and their ability to get along. I think that's a component that's really important because you work hard to sign 2 really good high school groups, and then I think you can disrupt that, if you make a mistake. And it's a short period of time to make a decision. So I think we've done a nice job of finding players that not only bring production and experience, but also I think there's a character piece there that's worked, So this group's fun to be around as a whole. Yeah, no, I think DJ is, he kind of fits what we were just talking about, right? He's a very productive player. He's got traits. There was a connection there. And certainly he's done a nice job. I think what I appreciated about DJ is the consistency. We know what we're going to get every day. He's got great practice habits. He's an effort player. He's done a really good job of picking up the system. And look, we're just halfway through the cycle here. I think that's the thing to kind of remind ourselves here is, look, we've got our reload period, and then we've got our summer off season, and then training camp. So he's off to a good start, and certainly I think he'll prove that he was a good take.
Defense just in general. A lot was made about the play calling all this off season.
Right.
Ringing about that and everything. But when you're giving up 38 plus in the last 5 games, it's kind of hard to overcome. How much better is that unit at this point? You keep complimenting it.
Mm-hmm.
Winning the day often. Are you impressed? Is it made more strides than you expected? Enough strides? Can you just kind of summarize it?
I think we've had there's been days where you walk off the field and you're like, man, we tackled well. The rush and the coverage was working together. We've got more depth. There's more competition, the effort, the speed. Overall, I think the new staff paired with some experience and a handful of new players, we feel like we're improving, And I think Thursday, the offense dominated practice. Okay, so I think today was a little bit of a reset button. Hey, look, let's get our act together. And I think they showed up and did that. And I thought they started really, really fast. So what I see is the football is cleaner. I think we've got 2 competitive groups on both sides. And then we have a good developmental group after that. So the football is cleaner. The alignments, the communication, the fundamentals. I think we're making progress. I'm confident. The staff changes have been a positive, and I think overall you got a bunch of veteran players. A lot of players that played last year for the first time in their career who are kind of going through that benefit of being a vet. You know, and again, remember what we've talked about. I think that's the theme here is, you know, we finally got a group that has some experience. There is credible leadership, and they've worked. You know, I mean, I think ultimately what we're seeing right now is a product of a lot of hard work, and it's important. The theme is momentum, and I think we've got that. We got to keep it this week and kind of finish this first half of the offseason, you know, 1 week from today with the Orange and Blue game. Yeah, I think he's added a bunch of lean muscle to his frame, and I think he's stronger. I think he's got confidence from the experience. And even today, I mean, he was ultra productive today. You know, he made a ton of plays out there today. So much like any year one to year two player, you know, you kind of go, you don't know what it's like, you know. I mean, he was in Tampa going to the prom this time last year, you know, and now he's been through a full off-season program. He knows what game day feels like and looks like, and he's able to adjust his approach, and I think he's a confident player. We're going to do everything we can do to get him the ball and allow him to affect our team and be productive as he has in the past.
Does the defensive changes, does that give you the most confidence that you'll be able to play the type of football, complementary football that you
Yeah,
envision?
that paired with just experience, you know. I mean, I think, and just like we don't have issues with this team. I mean, they do what they're supposed to do. I mean, we're able to focus on what's important, you know. And I think they provide the effort, the energy, the work ethic. You know, I think the accountability. Ultimately, I mean, we've got credible leadership. You pair that with some new faces, some new voices, some new leadership, a little bit different philosophy here or there. This group encourages each other. This group will confront things that are out of place, right? They hold each other accountable. And they get along with each other, right? And it can be cutthroat competitive out there, and then they can, you know, practice is over, and hey, we're a team, and let's continue to work hard to improve and get better. You know, I think ultimately it's what the game's about, you know, and I think we're finally in that place.
One last question then. It's hard to manufacture live tackling in camp, but how have you seen this unit work on it? And then when you do go live in scrimmages,
Yeah.
how have you seen improvement from a tackle standpoint?
The best we've tackled since we've been here. And I think in particular in the secondary, you know, I think, and look, that goes back to the fundamentals are cleaner, right? The ball declares, the DB's in position, he can make the tackle. You know, I think the fundamentals are better, experience is better. I think the defensive staff has done a nice job. You know, if we can tackle like we did today, if we can create takeaways like we did today, right, we can play with that type of energy, I think we got a chance to have a good group over there.
All right. Thank you, Coach.